What's going on, everyone? SJ Collectibles back with another toy video, and in this one I will be going over the 2.0 version of my feral predator from the movie Prey. When I work on my custom figures, I reach a point where I feel like I'm done with the figure, but as I handle it more and I look at it more and I watch the content that it's from, I start to see that there are things that I can improve on the figure to make it better. So in this one in particular, I added on to some things on the figure to make him more accurate to the film he's from. And since there aren't really that many, well, at the time there weren't that many images of the feral predator from the movie, I had to rely on screen grabs from the film itself. So my original version, I'll start from the head to toe on what I changed on him, if you can't already tell already. But the first thing I did was the original mask that I sculpted. I used the Alpha Predator by NECA Toys, and my original version was kind of like flat. So I went back and looked at more images of the mask in the movie, and it's got kind of this more bulbous front to it in the film. So I went back and I resculpted the mask, make it a little bit more accurate to it. Originally, he did have his mandibles folded in, since this base figure was the Alpha Predator by NECA Toys. I stripped him down of everything, all of the Omagi armor and everything that was on him. The most difficult thing on that was that the leg armor that was part of like that shelling that was on his legs was actually part of the sculpt. So I went and I dremeled it down and I sculpted the leg wraps that he has in the actual movie. So again, I resculpted the mask for him. I like the overall aesthetic of it a lot better now. But I also added to his waist, I added like the loincloth stuff coming down that he has in the film underneath his armor. Also added it to the back. And then hooked to his belt, he's got the folded down versions of two of his accessories that I made him come with. On his backpack piece, I used several pieces, I think from one of the new Ultimate figures that just came out. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. Part of the Lost Tribe. And added some things to it. But then there's also the holster, and that can be used for this accessory. I made his spear gun. It was made from several different plasma caster pieces. Also, it did originally have a removable spear, but I was afraid it'd be one of those things that get lost, so it is glued in there for the time being. But when I make little things like this, I look at images, multiple images of things that are available, and I try and make it as close as possible. I take a bunch of stuff and I just cut them down and like, oh, it has that shape or it has this shape, and that's how I form these things. And he can hold it. The thing about this Alpha Predator is his hands are really kind of stiff, so I don't want to mess with that right now. But I will holster spear gun. It can go on his back like in the film. And also on his loincloth piece, he has a clip where you can take this accessory. It's the folded down version of the spear. I know it's not 100% accurate to the film. I did take some liberties, but it does get the overall aesthetic of his spear down. He's got the spear side and he has the bludgeon side, but you can take it and you can clip it onto his belt and store it on his back like in the film. For his wrist gauntlets, they were the original NECA Toys Wolf Predator figure, and because they were pretty similar in design, actually. So on this arm in the movie, he has that cool folding out shield. So I made this plug piece that you can pop out and drill it into the arm. For the diameter, I would make these interchangeable pieces, but you can take this plug and you pop it in his wrist and you can take it out. And then I made 3 steps to the blade. So here's the first step, and you can pop it in there, have it like that, like when he first activates the shield. And then I made the full fanned out effect, and you can take this piece and pop it on to give it the whole folded out shield look. And it pours into his arm. And I used like this clear acrylic ornament things that I found at like the hobby store. And I cut the shape and drilled them. And jumbled it, trying to get the shape correct and everything. So, I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world. I would love to get one 3D printed, or just, just wait till the actual figure comes out. But for the most part, I love the overall aesthetic of the shield. And then you can take his spear, and I know like in the film it's more of like the AVP style spear, but I like the Predator 2 style spear, so I use that for this. My own interpretation of it. So in here it has the little button activator, and then he can press the button and you'll get the fully extended spear. It's over exaggerated on both ends, but I like the overall aesthetic of it. And his spear side again, his bludgeon side. And then like in the film, you can actually take it and disconnect, so he has both of his melee weapons that he uses in close quarters. And he can simply port them into his hands. Take this shield off for now. Yeah, so he has both pieces in his hands. Pop the port back in. You got both his cool melee weapons. The next thing I did, I wanted to make his claw a little bit more accurate to the film, because just looking back, my NECA one, or I had the wolf one in here, and I just didn't really like the overall look of it when it was extended. So I had these 2 claws. Can't remember the Predator they came from, but they pretty much, just like any other of the AVP ones or whatnot, I just made them where they port in to his wrist gauntlet. And yeah, I like the overall look of these ones a lot better. I lost the feature of it being able to retract into his arm, but for the most part, I just like the overall look of it. It looks more accurate to the film. And then also, I have, like I said, I have the 2 folded up versions of something, those other accessories. So the first one being that whip out little blade that he has. So I used like a piece of a McFarlane Scorpion Spear Fear, and I cut it down and added the tip. And then he can also hold it in his fingertips, like in the movie when he like whips it, like so, and throws it at people. And it's kind of like one of those snap bracelets, I feel like. It's like the snap bracelet from hell, pretty much. And but yeah, I made that version of it, and then there's also a folded down version. The other piece is the little net ball that he throws, and the guy reaches a horrible demise. And then he throws it, and it extends into the full net. This was from a Storm's collectible Cyrax figure. Found it in my box of things, and that'll be kind of perfect as to use for this figure. So it was green. I obviously painted it to be the silver color, but it's fully, bendable and everything. Can wrap it around whoever is he's hunting, and they can have a horrible hamburger, can get turned into hamburger pretty much. So yeah, that was the last accessory I made for him, and that was all the stuff for Feral. But as far as painting went, he was the base of the Alpha Predator figure from head to toe. Strip him of all the armor, and then I added the arms of the Wolf Predator. I sculpted the leg wraps. These were, from another, I can't remember what Predator they came off of. I didn't fully sculpt everything on him, so everything is as close as possible as I could get it without doing a full figure sculpt. But I started out with a base coat of like this light brownish yellow color, and then I did like his darker tones that he has, his freckling on him. He also has some scarring throughout his body as well. And then also he has this really cool like red and pinkish tone going up his chest and his armor on his back. So I tried to match that as close as possible to the film. His dreadlocks aren't completely accurate. His hair is more stringy looking in the movie, and I found some stuff that I was going to use originally, but I didn't like how it was looking when I was gluing it to the head to like sculpt on. So I ended up just using the Alpha Predator's hair and painting it from that white to black, because overall it has the same kind of length that the Feral Predator has in the movie, and so I liked that look. So again, you can take these pieces and port them on. I'll put him with his spear side of his staff. Yeah, looks freaking amazing, man. And then I'll bring in some comparisons. So for comparisons, I have the figure he is originally made from, and that's the Alpha Predator. This is probably by far one of my favorite figures that NECA made. They went all out for this figure when they made him, and I really like him a lot. So yeah, very cool. Both have that primitive style vibe to them that they have. And just set that aside. Dang. Another one that I can compare him to, because he has parts from him, is the original Wolf Predator. And I do have some custom stuff done to him, like I made a folded up whip. And then he also has everything from all, because there were like 5 of these figures when they released him. So he has all of the accessories on him to make him as accurate to the movie as possible. Still hoping on the ultimate of him whenever they decide to make him one day. And then finally, I've just tracked down a re-release of Ahab Predator. This is my absolute favorite Predator I think that NECA ever made. Even though it's mainly like Predator 1 body style, he's just such a freaking cool figure. And I just did a bunch of accessorizing him as well. But yeah, love this hunter. But yeah, that's pretty much everything about the Feral Predator that I did for this 2.0 version. Just the mask. Did some repainting, changing of accessories and adding of accessories. But yeah, I definitely like this version a lot better. I hope you guys appreciate the updates to the figure. I hope you like the movie as well. I thought it was really good. I've watched it probably about 10 times now. But yeah, definitely like the movie. Love how this figure came out. I hope you all like him as well. Tell me what you think about him in the comments. And then also like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And as always, this is SJ Collectibles saying toys keep you young. Happy hunting out there. I know it's crazy, but there's some new goodies that have been hitting the shelves lately. But yeah, take it easy, guys. and see you in the next one.